I'm teaching these courses here at Sundance Ranch because I think it's a better way of teaching riding than what I used to do. I used to have a normal riding school where people come for a weekly lesson, and I just found it so frustrating and ineffective for me and for the students, especially for adults. And I just found a better way of teaching. So if you learn riding in a riding school, you come for a weekly lesson usually. Let's say every Thursday you come for your lesson, and then you have no chance to practice because obviously you don't have a horse at home. That's like trying to learn an instrument, a complicated instrument. Let's say you're trying to learn the violin and you don't even own a violin. So I thought of how they teach language nowadays in full immersion courses, and I thought that's actually what we're learning here. We're trying to learn a language where we communicate with the horse, and it's much better to learn this in full immersion. So that's what we're doing here. We're studying a whole week. We're studying how to communicate with a horse, from the moment we are with them in the pasture to when we get them with a halter and lead them down the street, to doing groundwork in the arena, and eventually to riding. We start our courses always very slowly and gently with actually doing some freedom-based training in the pastures, and just being with the horses and learning to read them, getting to know them. And it's a very gentle start, both for the people and for the horses. And then we go on to groundwork and riding lessons, and I kind of mix all these elements up, throw in some theory to round it up. And we keep mixing different elements on different days. So it never gets boring, but there is, in German we say, a red thread going through it, which is the communication with a horse. So we're always practicing the same concepts, and we're either talking about them in the theory bits and pieces, or we're practicing them in freedom with a halter and rope, on the lunge, in the round pen, ridden in the arena, or ridden on the trails. We keep talking about the same ways of communicating with the horse, but in all these different types of situations. So it's really fun, it's really diverse, but it also has a consistent theme to it. The courses never have more than 4 people, exceptionally maybe 5 if someone really wants to bring their whole family, for example. But normally it's max 4 people, and we live together in the ranch house, and we do everything together with this small group of people. That ensures that everyone really gets all the attention they need. So when I teach riding lessons, for example, it's 1 person at a time, and it's not big group lessons ever. It's 1 person at a time, maybe sometimes 2 if it's a groundwork lesson. And there's a lot of attention to every person and to what they need. So people can come who are complete beginners. I've had plenty of people who'd never been on a horse before, knew nothing about horses, or they can also be quite advanced, have their own horse at home, and they still learn, even if they're mixed together in the same group, because I can really go into detail with each person separately with such a small group. That's just how I like to teach. It's going to sound really cheesy, but my real goal for the courses is to make the world a better place for horses. So I'm trying to teach people to communicate better with horses, and that's a two-way communication. I want humans to be able to read their horse better, to understand their horse better, and to know what they need and what they like, and when they're enjoying work and when they're not, and when they're afraid. And if humans can understand all of that, they're going to be so much better for the horses. And what happens is that then the humans enjoy it so much more too. They have so much more fun. People who are afraid lose their fear of horses, and people who are frustrated become joyful again in their work with horses. So that's really my goal, to make it better for both sides, but I focus on the horses, I must admit.